Imagine facing every problem in life with unwavering calm and clarity, no matter how crazy things get around you. This isn't just a dream, it's the essence of emotional maturity, which comes from ancient Stoic philosophy. Today we'll look at 20 signs of emotional maturity that show you're emotionally grown. Based on the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, these rules have helped countless people weather life's storms with grace and strength. Stay tuned, because what you're about to learn could forever change how you see yourself and the world around you. Let's look at how embracing these signs can lead you to a life of true inner peace and strength. If you like what we're doing, please hit the subscribe button and don't skip any part of the video. Everything is important. Stoics tell us to look at actions and reactions without judging them right away. They named the first wave of emotions propathy, natural and indifferent reactions to stimuli. Instead of calling someone a monster or a fool, they want us to think about what they might be going through on the inside. Maybe that driver was in a hurry to get to the hospital, or your coworker had a rough morning. When we let go of our sense of right and wrong, we start to see the world in a more complex way. It's not about excusing bad behavior, but understanding where it comes from. Marcus Aurelius wrote that we should enter into the mind of the person who wronged us, trying to see things from their perspective. This exercise in empathy not only makes us more compassionate, but also helps us manage our emotional responses better when we stop viewing the world as black and white populated by either monsters or fools. It becomes less about reacting and more about understanding and responding thoughtfully. Imagine the peace that comes with this mindset. Instead of being quick to anger you, pause, breathe, and consider the possibility that the other person's actions have nothing to do with you personally. This level of emotional intelligence and maturity can transform your interactions and relationships, making them richer and more meaningful. It's a powerful way to navigate life's social complexities with grace and resilience, embodying the core principles of Stoicism. So by adopting this Stoic approach to understanding others' behavior, we cultivate a more compassionate and balanced perspective, ultimately leading to greater inner peace and emotional stability. Have you ever felt like someone didn't understand what you meant and thought they should know without you having to explain it? This can cause anger and misunderstandings. In truth, what you think is clear isn't always clear to other people. Stoics thought that clear speech was important to avoid pointless arguments and mistakes. Epictetus often talked about how important it was to say what we were thinking in a calm and clear way. He thought that a lot of problems come from assumptions and unsaid expectations. When we take the time to clearly state our thoughts and feelings, we lower the chances of misunderstanding. When we're upset or stressed, it's easy to think that those close to us should know what we need without us having to say it. However, this expectation is often unrealistic and unfair. Stoicism tells us to be in charge of how we talk to each other. People must be able to calmly and clearly state their needs and thoughts if they want to understand us. This doesn't mean being blunt or rude. It means being careful and deliberate in how we talk to each other. If you commit to this practice, you'll make it a habit to talk to people with care. You start to understand that the words you use can make or break relationships and make things clear or fuzzy. Realizing this gives you the power to carefully choose your words so they show what you really mean and help people get along. Stoics tell us that seeing our flaws and learning from them is the way to become wise and better people. Epictetus once said that a person can't learn something they already believe they know. This means that if we want to grow, we have to be humble enough to accept when we're wrong. Being humble helps us see our mistakes as chances to learn and grow instead of as failures. In real life, accepting mistakes can change our relationships and how we see ourselves. Admitting you were wrong in front of a friend, family member, or coworker builds trust and shows that you care about the relationship more than your own pride. Being open about making mistakes is a part of the Stoic practice of self-reflection, which can help people connect with each other better and create a more supportive and understanding atmosphere. In his thoughts, Marcus Aurelius often looked at his own deeds and thoughts to make sure they were in line with his beliefs and values. Examining ourselves on a daily basis helps us be honest with ourselves about our flaws and take action to fix them. This practice helps us develop a growth mindset. When we see mistakes as chances to learn, we become stronger and more flexible. We learn to face challenges with curiosity instead of fear, because we know that every loss is a way to become smarter and stronger. Marcus Aurelius tells us that we're all part of the same human community and face the same problems and fears. When we realize this, our confidence doesn't come from thinking we're better than other people, but from feeling empathy and unity with them. Think back to a time when you were having a hard time with a personal issue. When you told a friend or coworker about it, they may have been going through the same thing. This shared vulnerability can lead to a strong bond and a sense of mutual support. Knowing that others are going through the same things can boost your confidence and make you feel less alone. Realizing that everyone is making things up as they go along can be very freeing. It takes the pressure off of trying to be perfect and gives you more confidence and sincerity in your life. Epictetus said that we shouldn't be ashamed of our problems, but should instead see them as chances to learn and grow. By admitting our problems, we can connect with others more deeply and make our sense of self stronger. This approach also works in personal relationships. When you talk about your problems with a partner or friend, they see how vulnerable you are and feel safe to talk about their own problems too. Being honest with each other builds trust and faith in the relationship, making it stronger and more helpful. Many times, Marcus Aurelius thought about how everyone, even our parents, is dealing with their own problems and flaws. He told them to be kind to others but strict with themselves. This Stoic principle tells us to see our parents not just as people in charge, but also as people with their own fears, worries, and flaws. When you think about your relationship with your parents, there may have been times when you felt slighted or misunderstood. Holding on to these grudges can make you angry and bitter. Stoicism teaches us to forgive by reminding us that our parents did the best they could with the information and tools they had at the time. They were going through their own hard times too. Your parents probably had their own problems as kids that were caused by their situation and what they couldn't do. Understanding this can help you feel less angry at them. Instead of seeing their mistakes as planned attempts to hurt you, you can start to see them as mistakes people make when they are confused or under a lot of stress. This change in view is in line with the Stoic practice of seeing other people's actions through the lenses of understanding and sensitivity. Forgiving your parents doesn't mean forgetting what they did or ignoring everything they did. Instead, it means letting go of the bad feelings that are connected to those memories. Think about how you feel when you're hungry or don't get enough sleep. Even small problems with these basic needs can have a big effect on your mood, making you irritable, nervous, or slow. The Stoics stress how important it is to live a healthy life to keep your mind calm and clear. The place where you are is another small but important factor. A cluttered space can make you feel stressed and overwhelmed, while a clean and organized space can make you feel calm and in control. Also, think about the effects of routine. Having regular habits, like going to bed at the same time every night or working out in the morning, can greatly improve your mood and overall health. Routines give you a sense of stability and predictability, which can be very grounding. Epictetus told his students to do disciplined things every day to keep their minds clear and their emotions in check. Even short exchanges with other people can have a big effect on your mood. A friendly word or a smile from a stranger can make you feel better. The dangers of being too grand and too entitled. While bad interactions can bring you down, small acts of self-care can help you feel better. Taking a few minutes to do some deep breathing or enjoy a cup of tea alone can have a big impact on your mood. These activities help you center yourself and stay calm in the midst of life's chaos. Think of a time when you felt wronged by a friend or family member. Instead of sulking, which can build a wall of anger and silence, imagine having an open and honest conversation about it. The Stoics believed that by doing this, you can clear up any misunderstandings and strengthen your relationship. Sulking can also be seen as a form of passive aggression because it's a way of showing anger without actually fixing the problem. Socrates thought that we should try to settle disagreements through conversation and reason, not through silence and withdrawal. Seneca said that we should deal with our problems in a cool and logical way, with the goal of finding a solution instead of staying unhappy for a long time. Also, Sulking often leads to dwelling on bad thoughts, which can make us feel even more angry and bitter. When we let go of the need to sulk, we take charge of our emotions and choose a more effective and positive way to deal with conflicts. Think about what it will do to your health. Most of the time, pouting makes you feel worse. You can break out of a cycle of negative thinking by talking about problems directly. For example, you could tell yourself, "I'm hurt by what happened, but I'll talk about how I feel calmly and try to understand the other person's point of view." This change from passively moping to actively solving problems is a big step toward emotional maturity. How often do you worry that everything is not good enough? When things don't go exactly as planned, this never-ending trying can make people feel anxious, frustrated, and like they've failed. The Stoics teach us to focus on the things we can control, like our actions, attitudes, and efforts, instead of trying to achieve perfection. If we focus on doing our best instead of being perfect, we can relieve a lot of the stress we put on ourselves. Think about the idea of good enough. This doesn't mean settling for mediocrity, but rather realizing that reaching a good enough standard is often more realistic and healthy than trying to reach an unattainable ideal. Seneca said, "Start living right away, and count each day as a separate life." This way of thinking helps us value our efforts and successes as they are, instead of always wanting more. Accepting our flaws also means owning up to our mistakes and learning from them. Instead of seeing mistakes as failures, look at them as chances to grow and make relationships better. It's important to understand that expecting others to be perfect sets unrealistic standards that can lead to disappointment and conflict. Instead, accept that everyone has flaws and strengths. When we accept and appreciate people for who they are, including their flaws, we build stronger relationships and mutual respect. The Stoics had a unique way of dealing with pessimism. They imagined the worst possible outcomes on purpose in order to mentally and emotionally prepare themselves. This is called premeditatio malorum, and it helps us appreciate what we have and make it easier to deal with the problems that will inevitably come up in life. Imagine starting your day by thinking that things might not go as planned, that you might face problems, that people might not treat you the way you hope they do, or that you might face challenges you weren't expecting. This isn't about being negative or always expecting the worst. It's about being mentally ready for whatever comes your way. By recognizing that things can go wrong, you lessen the shock and disappointment you feel when they do. You build a psychological buffer that makes you stronger. Negative visualization can also help with personal relationships. When we accept that people are human and can make mistakes, our expectations go down, and our ability to tolerate and forgive them rises. This makes it easier to deal with disappointment from a friend or partner, and we are less likely to be devastated. The Stoics believe that every strength has an equal and opposite weakness. For example, someone who pays close attention to details could be seen as pompous, and someone who is easygoing could be seen as lazy. In his meditations, Marcus Aurelius often talked about how important it is to see people as they really are, with all their flaws and problems. Think about how this affects the way you deal with people every day. You may have a friend who is very reliable but also a bit stiff. Instead of focusing on how stiff they are, respect how reliable they are. This fair view lets you appreciate their good points while also seeing their flaws as part of the whole. Keeping our weaknesses and strengths in balance also applies to how we see ourselves. Too often we either criticize ourselves too much or don't see our flaws at all. The Stoics tell us to be fair to ourselves, recognize our strengths, and work on our weaknesses without being too hard on ourselves. It's possible to keep improving yourself and stay emotionally stable if you know that it's okay to have flaws as long as you're aware of them and work to fix them. This helps you have a better relationship with your own self-image. This balanced view can help people bond and understand each other better. A more realistic and caring relationship is built on understanding your partner's flaws as well as their strengths. It's about seeing the whole person and appreciating them, just like the Stoics teach us to accept the way things are. The Stoics teach us to use reason and clear vision in all parts of our lives, including our relationships. What Epictetus said before you speak. Think about what you want to say. When you fall in love more slowly, you take the time to get to know the other person and see them for who they are, flaws and all. This fits with the Stoic approach of seeing things as they really are, without any false ideas. Having a balanced view of relationships means not getting caught up in the initial excitement, but instead, letting the relationship grow naturally over time. This careful and thoughtful approach helps avoid the disappointment that often comes when reality doesn't match our expectations. When you take the time to fully understand and appreciate someone, your relationship is built on a solid foundation of mutual respect, and understanding this depth of connection is much more fulfilling than a fleeting infatuation. If you don't rush into love, you're more likely to build a strong, long-lasting relationship with your partner. You also value what you already have and are less likely to be moved by fleeting feelings. The Stoics thought that knowing yourself was important for living a good life. Epictetus famously said, "Know first who you are, and then dress accordingly." This means being honest with yourself about your strengths and weaknesses. When you know your problems, you're better able to deal with them. For example, if you know you have trouble managing your time, you can make plans to get your life in order. By being honest with yourself, you set the stage for personal growth and improvement. This awareness of oneself fits with the Stoic habit of always looking at and thinking about oneself. Taking into account your problems. Being honest about your problems makes it easier for others to do the same, which leads to more supportive and understanding interactions. Being open about your problems can also help you grow as a person and build stronger relationships. By being honest about your problems, you can set realistic expectations and build a deeper understanding with others. This can help avoid misunderstandings and fights by letting them know when you might need extra help or patience. The Stoics teach us that dwelling on past mistakes and punishing ourselves for them is pointless. Think of a time when you made a mistake that you couldn't stop thinking about. Maybe you said something you wish you hadn't or made a bad choice at work. It's easy to get stuck in a cycle of self-blame and guilt, but the Stoics say that mistakes are a part of being human and a chance to grow. To forgive yourself, you also have to accept that you can't be perfect. Seneca said that a person who never meets trouble is the happiest person in the world. He is not allowed to prove himself. Realizing that we are flawed and that mistakes are a normal part of life makes us more gentle with ourselves. This is in line with the Stoic principle of living in harmony with nature, which includes our flawed human nature. You can forgive yourself by admitting you made a mistake, thinking about what you could have done differently, and then making a plan to do better next time. It's important to let go of the past and move on. You could tell yourself, "I did the best I could with the information and tools I had at the time. Now I will use this experience to do better." This will not only help you grow, but it will also free you from the weight of unnecessary guilt. When you forgive yourself, you become more compassionate and understanding toward others. You realize that everyone makes mistakes and that holding grudges is pointless. This creates a more supportive and understanding environment. Forgiving yourself is important for your mental and emotional health. Self-blame and guilt can make you feel stressed, anxious, and even depressed. When kids explore the world, they are naturally open-minded and curious, which can make our lives much better as adults. As we get older, we tend to get stuck in our ways and lose the ability to see things from different points of view. By rekindling our childlike curiosity, we can continue to learn and grow. Kids are very good at living in the present. They don't worry about the future or regrets about the past. This is similar to the Stoic practice of awareness and presence. Epictetus said that we should live in the present, because that's the only time we can accept our childish traits. Allowing ourselves to be joyful and playful is also important. As adults, we often hide these emotions because of responsibilities and social norms, but they are necessary for a balanced and fulfilling life. Also, children are honest about who they are. They don't put on airs or worry too much about what other people think. This is a valuable lesson for adults when it comes to personal relationships. Accepting our childlike traits can help us connect with others more deeply. When we let ourselves be open, vulnerable, and playful, we make ties that last longer. This method builds trust and closeness because it encourages others to be themselves too. In today's busy world, we often focus on big goals and forget about the little things that make our daily lives more enjoyable. The Stoics believe that true happiness comes from within and is found in enjoying what we have instead of always wanting more. Marcus Aurelius often wrote in his writings about how important it is to enjoy the present moment and the little things in life. Think about the simple pleasures in your life, like the sun on your face, the smell of your morning coffee, the sound of a loved one laughing, or the warmth of a cozy blanket. If we stop to notice and enjoy these little moments, which we often take for granted, they can bring us a lot of happiness and satisfaction. In his writings, Seneca also stressed this point, saying that the only way to be truly happy is to enjoy the moment without worrying about what will happen in the future. Celebrating small pleasures helps us become stronger. Life is full of ups and downs, and these little moments of happiness can give us comfort and strength when things get tough. Also, noticing and enjoying small pleasures can make our relationships stronger. When we share these moments with others, we create connections and shared experiences that strengthen our bonds. Whether it's watching a beautiful sunset with a friend or laughing together over a funny story, these simple pleasures bring us closer to the people we care about. Think about how much time and energy we spend worrying about what other people think. This worry can affect our decisions, actions, and even how we see ourselves. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control: our thoughts, actions, and reactions. When you let go of other people's views, you free yourself from the restrictions of societal norms and expectations. This doesn't mean becoming apathetic or antisocial. Instead, it means basing your sense of self-worth on your own actions and values. For example, if you're really interested in a career path, go after it not because it's popular or prestigious, but because it fits with your own values and interests. Letting go of other people's opinions can make your mental and emotional health a lot better. When you stop thinking about what other people think, you feel less stressed and anxious. This peace inside you helps you focus on your dreams and goals with more drive and clarity. Marcus Aurelius talked about the peace that comes from not caring what other people say, think, or do, and only caring about what you do. Being in this frame of mind helps you stay true to yourself and your values. Being open to feedback means letting other people tell you what they think about your actions and how they affect others. This is important for both personal and professional growth. According to the Stoics, feedback, whether it's good or bad, is a chance to get better. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If anyone can prove and show me that I think and act in error, I will gladly change it, for I seek the truth, which has never really hurt anyone." Receiving feedback also makes you more humble. It helps us remember that we're not perfect and that we can always do better. Epictetus said that we should know what we can't do and be willing to learn from others. He said that a man can't learn things he already knows. When we accept feedback, we have to admit that we don't know everything and that other people's points of view can help us improve. Hearing constructive feedback makes our relationships stronger. When we show that we are ready to listen and think about other people's points of view, we build trust and respect. It shows that we value other people's ideas and want to improve our relationships with them. Being ready for feedback can help people talk and understand each other better. If a partner or friend gives you feedback, don't get angry. Instead, thank them for being honest and think about what they have to say. Being open like this can help people build stronger, more important relationships. Seneca said that one of the most beautiful things about friendship is being able to understand and be understood. By valuing feedback, we can build stronger relationships. Stoic philosophy teaches us to take a step back and look at things from a bigger picture. By doing this, we can better control our emotions, make better decisions, and find inner peace. The Stoics often stress how important it is to see things from a bigger picture. Marcus Aurelius told himself in his thoughts to get perspective so that he could see things in the bigger picture of life. We can look at our problems as smaller parts of a bigger picture, which makes them less upsetting. If you think back to a time when you felt like you couldn't handle a problem, it may have seemed impossible at the time. But when you look at the bigger picture, your life goals, the people you care about, and your past successes, The problem often seems less difficult. This change in perspective can help you see things more clearly and calmly, so you can deal with the problem with a more balanced mind. There are a number of ways to gain perspective. One good way is to think about your life and goals on a daily basis. Putting your thoughts and feelings into a journal or meditating on them can help you see trends and understand your responses better. Another way is to ask others for advice and their points of view, which can give you new ideas and help you see things you might have missed. The Stoics thought that our past events have a big impact on how we see and judge things now. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "Look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up if thou wilt ever dig." This quote shows how important it is to think about our own thoughts and actions in order to understand why we do the things we do. By thinking about our past, we can find the reasons behind our actions and make changes for the better. Think about how your childhood, relationships, and important events in your life have shaped the way you think and act now. For example, if you grew up in a critical environment, you may be more sensitive to criticism as an adult. Being aware of this effect helps you deal with feedback more logically, knowing that your reaction may be heightened by past events. Learning about the things that happened in the past can also help us spot and break bad habits. For example, if you notice that you act defensively in certain situations, thinking about the times when you felt attacked or misunderstood could help you figure out why you act this way. By recognizing this pattern, you can start to respond more calmly and constructively. Understanding that our actions are shaped by our past experiences makes us more compassionate toward ourselves and others. We can be more forgiving of our mistakes and more understanding of how others feel. They think that real friendship is based on respecting each other and having the same good qualities. Marcus Aurelius wrote that men exist so that they can help each other. He said, "Teach them then, or bear with them." This shows how important it is to teach patience and help each other in friendships. Friends who care about each other help each other get better by giving each other unbiased comments and words of support. Think about the things that make someone a good friend: dependability, understanding, honesty, and help. When we try to be these things, our friendships get stronger and we build a network of people who can help each other. Seneca talked a lot about how important friendship is and said that one of the most beautiful things about real friendship is to understand and be understood. This kind of shared understanding leads to stronger bonds and trust. Being a better friend also means being present and paying attention. With our busy lives, it's easy to lose focus on our relationships and forget about them, but real friendship takes time and work. Also, being a good friend means helping each other grow as a person. The Stoics believed that people should always be trying to get better and be more moral. When we support our friends in their efforts to be the best versions of themselves, we help them grow and also grow ourselves. This kind of support makes friendships stronger and leads to a more satisfying life. Remember that emotional maturity is a journey of constant growth and self-discovery. By following Stoic principles, we can handle life's challenges with strength, wisdom, and grace. Thanks for being a part of Stoic Journal. For more ideas and insights, don't forget to watch one of the videos mentioned on the screen. Have a great day and see you next time.